Let's get into it. I'm joined by former RNC Chair Michael Steele and Dahlia Lithwick, a legal writer from Slate. Welcome to both of you. Lots of important stuff, long week. As I told viewers, I want to start with the reality of that day. Then we're going to turn to some of the witness highlights, which I thought were powerful. Michael, your thoughts?
Well, you know, it was riveting. It was not just from the sights and the sounds of new video, or even, you know, hearing Ivanka basically said, you know, yeah, Daddy knew it was not real. I knew it was, that he lost, etc. But it was just this galvanizing moment. My frustration still remains, Ari, and it really touches on the last point you were making in your opening, is that, do people really care? Do they really give a damn? I'm curious to see what the numbers are, you know, and see how many people watched. But you had an entire network say, screw this, we're not covering it. I didn't hear Fox viewers clamoring, beating up the network, imploring them to, yeah, we want to see it. So you have a significant portion of the American people who just don't give a damn, who I believe actually want to see this whole thing collapse, because they think somehow their vision of America is going to make it all better. And what they don't understand is that the very same people who were trying to mount an insurrection will be the first ones to crush their damn necks when they get the power.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that. And I think last night brought that reality, that truth, at least for me, it brought it home in a real way.
Dahlia?
I mean, I was going to offer the same cautious emendation that you just heard from Michael.
But how do we know you're not just copying Michael?
Well, because it's going to be an emendation, which has many syllables. No, I think what I wanted to say when you said history lesson, Ari, is that that's only half the story, because what is past is prologue. And I think you cannot watch what happened last night, and you cannot learn the lessons of the Select Committee without understanding that this is the game plan going forward.
Right.
That if you don't look at these fake electors and the Electoral Count Act and the effort to press state elections officials into doing something they knew was false, and you don't see the ways that's being codified into law right now so that the 2024 election can go to plan, then you don't really see not just what happened on January 6th, but what's going to happen in 2024. And so I just think that Michael's sort of starting off point is mine as well, which is this isn't just reckoning with history. This is understanding the kind of TikTok of how it could happen again.
Absolutely. And that goes to the accountability that is the obligation of government in a society bound by the rule of law. Both of our guests here are going to stay. And as mentioned, I want to get to those other key findings as we put it together. This is the actual testimony from the many people who did cooperate. Most people cooperated with this valid, lawful committee, much of it damning against Trump by his own aides and sometimes family.
He delivered to the president pretty blunt terms that he was going to lose.
You can't live in a world where the incumbent administration stays in power based on its view, unsupported by specific evidence, that there was fraud in the election.
Jared, are you aware of instances where Pat Cipollone threatened to resign?
I kind of, like I said, my interest at that time was on trying to get as many pardons done. And I know that, you know, he was always, him and the team were always saying, oh, we're going to resign. We're not going to be here if this happens, if that happens. So I kind of took it up to just be whining, to be honest with you.
But I think he ultimately knew that his fidelity to the Constitution was his first and foremost oath.
What was Mr. Meadows' reaction to that information?
I believe the words he used were, so there's no there.
We need to establish the narrative that, that the president is still in charge and that things are steady or stable or what's that thing. I immediately interpret that as politics. Red flag for me personally, no action.
I made it clear I did not agree with the idea of saying the election was stolen and putting out this stuff, which I told the president was bull.
I respect Attorney General Barr. So I accepted what he was saying.
Michael?
Yeah, it really goes to both of our first points, is that not only does that give you some context about the actual history that occurred, right, in the moment, but now you begin to realize just how deep it was, how widespread it was, and how many of the players inside this administration were affected or impacted by Donald Trump's singular mission, singular drive to overthrow this election. This came from the top down. Now, there's going to be more evidence in the next few weeks of these hearings that's going to fill in all those spaces between that top and everyone else. But I think it was very clear to me the fact that everyone, Ari, had to circle back to Trump in some form or way to get the sort of green light, to get the understanding, but then on the back end to say, Mr. President, everything you want can't happen because you lost. You lost. You lost. And the more they said it, the more driven Donald Trump became to replace them, to find sycophants who would do what he wanted, to get rid of his own vice president in the process if necessary. That's how craven he was. That's how craven and maniacal he was in that moment to destroy everything this country and this government would stand for.
And that is very well put. And Dahlia, that goes to the legal culpability. There have been serious charges filed, and those trials will go forward for the seditious conspiracy to violently overthrow the government of the United States of America. And those who are convicted should deserve every heavy punishment they get. And those who, under the rule of law, are not convicted, found not guilty, go on with their lives. That's the rule of law in this country. I'm not going to prejudge each case, but they're heavy charges. And yet, what does it tell you, Dahlia, as this process goes forward, that the elites, that the Brooks brothers insurrectionists have not been arrested yet on any substantive crimes? And I'll always say, if there's no evidence against them, then so be it. Mr. Bannon and Mr. Navarro are currently indicted on process crimes of defying the investigation. Why they've taken those risks, only they can know. But do you think that is an acceptable endpoint based on the available public evidence? Does it look to you like anyone else might have tried to phone in the play?
It seemed to me, Ari, that one unifying theme from the first minute of those hearings yesterday right till the end, when you had all of those folks essentially saying, I showed up because Donald Trump asked me to. He asked me for two things. He asked me to vote, and he asked me to show up today. And the line between the very start, when Liz Cheney said, you know, he lit the match, he set the fuse, that's Donald Trump. And it seemed to me the entire organizing theme of last night's hearing was, this starts at the top, like Michael just said. This starts with Trump. And I think it's almost impossible to look at the videos you just sort of showed in that montage and not see this animating theme, which is everyone around Donald Trump told him no. Mark Short, Joint Chiefs, you know, Vice President Pence, his own Attorney General said, this is unlawful, you have no basis for this, and he went forward.
Yes.
And so to the extent that there's mens rea, right, the intent to do something that you know is illegal, we've always heard, oh, Donald Trump can't form the requisite intent. He didn't know what's going on. He's delusional. Well, now we know. That's why Ivanka's important, that the one person he listened to evidently told him no. And when you have everyone around him telling him no, he can no longer say, I'm not culpable because I didn't understand what was happening. And so I think one of the things that you are going to see, now I know your question is a different one, which is what does Merrick Garland feel that he is empowered to charge? That's a political question in some sense. But I do think, Ari, that one of the things we saw yesterday was that if I'm Mark Meadows and I'm saying there's no there and persisting with the plot, now I'm on the hook for a whole bunch of things that I might not have thought I